Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by lineups.com. Nate and Josh coming to you here on Friday, closing things out with 9 games on the slate in the NBA. We're going to be taking a look at some sides and totals. Also got the best player props, we'll call them, in the episode for you as well. So make sure you are subscribed to that channel. We're coming back each and every weekday with you guys for all these plays. So let's get right into it with this big slate here. Nate talking about the Magic, talking about the Raptors, and you are talking about the home team here, business.
Yeah. And I mean, full disclosure, I started researching this being like, do we really trust the Magic? Like all they've really done is beaten the Heat. They can't win back-to-back games, blah, blah, blah. Like, let me take Toronto here and agree with the market. But I actually feel like Orlando's going to win. I feel like Jalen Suggs is such a big factor and he's barely been back. Like they lost back-to-back games against the Cavs at full bore with Suggs limited. Then he's up to close to 30 minutes and they crush the Heat once again. And so, I mean, if he's a full go, we're talking about him facing a Raptors team that he's been very, very good against and very motivated to play against. 108 defensive rating in 7 career against the Raptors, plus 67 in those minutes. Magic have won 5 of the last 6. Sure, that doesn't mean much because the Raptors were tanking, but this current iteration of the Raptors, very dependent on Brandon Ingram getting going, and he's been absolute trash in his last 3 against Orlando, shooting 39% of the floor. They also played them extremely close with Tyus Jones starting in place of Suggs. And Tyus Jones has been an absolute disaster for Orlando this year. So now you just throw Suggs in there with the competitive edge he has. You throw Paolo, kind of settling into his lead dog role with Franz out the last 4, scoring 30 a game, 129 rating. Despite the big bodies in there and Scotty Barnes, he's actually done very well against Toronto as well in these wins recently. 28 points, 127 rating. Desmond Bain says, me too. I also like playing against this team. And Toronto's actually been awful guarding the rim in their last 7, third worst in the league. So missing Pirtle a little bit on that end. I mean, too much Mamu, right? That's not going to get it done. RJ Barrett's still limited. And I've mentioned many times how much worse their offense is when they don't have RJ. And they're still 1-8 straight up against the top Eastern Conference team. So it's a question of, do you think Orlando is a top team? Are they turning a corner? Or do you think they're just still this inconsistent up and down roller coaster? I'd rather gamble on them being a good team when they have home court advantage and when they have their heartbeat, Jalen Suggs.
Yeah, no real strong opinion on this one. Honestly, like I respect the conviction in the Magic and the lack of conviction in the Raptors. I think it all adds up here. Just don't have quite a beat on it, but I do feel like I have a pretty good beat on the fact that the Grizzlies are not very good. And the beat that I also have here for the Pelicans to cover at home -2 against Memphis is the fact that they don't have anything to lose for. We like to say teams don't have anything to play for. They don't have anything to lose for. They don't have their picks. They did a wonderful job of making sure that they weren't going to get their own picks as they tanked. Maybe they thought they were going to be good with the DeJounte Murray trade. I don't know. They put the Hawks in a great spot because the Hawks would be floundering with the KP trade if they didn't have options as a result because of picks. At any rate, that's why the Pelicans have looked pretty good in their last 10 games. They've looked good because they've had a lot of Zion. Derek Queen's been healthy. And also, I would say, Herb Jones and Sadiq Bey, but then just as important, Jordan Poole hasn't been healthy. That's been really great for them because Jordan Poole has been horrible for them. And just as bad as he was for pretty much any team he's played on in the league, other than a couple years with Steph and the Dubs, it just turnover. He has played twice in those last 7 games. So there's a good reason for why they look a little bit better. Nice win against the Spurs a couple games ago. Hung in there with the Thunder more than you might have thought on the road, only losing by 9 points there. They did handle this Memphis team by 6 the other day, and they're still going to be in this one now without Santi. Once again, just still missing everybody as well, including Ja. They're going to have Triple J, Jock Landale. I mean, they will have Jock Conchar. I don't know what that matters, but they'll have Jock Landale. Their front court's going to be tough, and they've been just awful at the rim defensively as a result of not having Zach Edey. It's really just been since Zach Edey's been gone. In fact, they were so good at the rim when Zach Edey was there, despite being in the bottom 10 for the last month and a half at the rim in terms of defense. They're still top 15 in the league because when Zach Edey was there, it was like, come here. It's not going to work out for you. And now it's just whatever you want. So when you've got Zion attacking the rim, you've got guys like Derek Queen, who I think are going to be able to sort of handle they're going to be able to play both down low with the rebounding. And I also think Derek Queen's going to get a couple assists in this one with the way that they're going to have to overpressure whoever is on ball a lot. And he's been doing that. So I'm just going to take the Pelicans to cover at home here.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense after they give OKC a good run. They're playing pretty well. They haven't been home very much at all. And Memphis, like I said last time out, it's the Cam Spencer experience, which is fun, and we'll get you a few stats once in a while. But when teams really buckle down and want to stop that offense, it's not too tough to do. So Suns are hosting the Cavs here. This opened at 2:30 and it's 2:20 now. So I'll gobble up that value. I mean, these teams played in December. The total was 233. It went over. Cavs won 129, 113. Donnie was lights out, 34 points, got to the line 12 times. For what it's worth, the last time he played Dillon, Brooks, and Houston, that game was a shootout, 135, 131. He had 37 points. Dillon Brooks, as good as he's been offensively, and that's a factor in the Suns staying hot here. I don't really think he's quick enough to deal with Donovan Mitchell when he's on this type of heater. And the Cavs D is going to take a major hit with Evan Mobley out. I mean, that's where we're thinking would happen in a larger sample size. Did still take the under against the Lakers that time, got bailed out by the Lakers not coming to play at all. But you exclude that dud defensively, or I mean the dud from the Lakers. And in the previous 6 with Mobley, they were scoring 126 a game, 104 pace, allowing plenty of points with a 117 defensive rating. Also, the Cavs, because of that blowout, have a little bit of extra rest here. And on 2 days rest this year, they're going over by 14.5 points per game. When they have a rest advantage, it's 8 points per game. So lots of trends there insinuating they're going to be moving the ball. It's going to be popping. They're going to be scoring, and their defense is just bad. Like they know they have to come in to try to outscore the other team. Their point of attack defense is awful, and the Suns compete no matter what, right? I mean, they'll get in a rock fight with you. If they played Detroit last night, they'd be like, sure, if you want to win, go 101, 108, 105, whatever. Like we'll compete with you. If you want to go 120, 118 Cavs, we'll compete. But on back-to-backs, they do give up more points than normal. Their games have averaged 224. So I'll take that average with a Cavs team that is very prone to overs when they have this current iteration of lineup.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you definitely got bet way, way, way down. And I know it sounds weird, but Devin Booker's actually been really important for this defense for the Suns as well. It doesn't sound weird. He's always been pretty underrated on defense, but he's never really been on a team that's like, let's grit and grind. It was like, at one point, it was like, well, Mikal Bridges probably got this as far as like defensive stoppers go. Then you move to the next iteration of the team. It's like KD, Chris Paul, Devin Booker. There's no defense going on really as much as there was the offense. And now this team's identity has definitely sort of molded Booker into that. Obviously, Brooks being there helps, but no, I can see the over. I know Dillon's going to take a ton of shots. I'll talk about him in a little bit too. But this game here with the Jazz, I'll take him at home against the Nets on the back-to-back. It's really a bit more of a fade of the Nets. I would love Nurkic to play in this game, but the Nets are doing a great tank job is really what this comes down to. So even if we're talking about no Nurk in this one, and we still got Keyonte George and Ace Bailey now getting his back to 34-ish minutes or so, like getting some real time as they're starting to put him on stage. Way to drop him in fantasy, Josh. That was so dumb. But at any rate, I do like Ace in this game as well against Brooklyn. And so for the Jazz at home, it's just, they've been a bit better there. It's just really all it comes down to is like, I'll take them at home when they're playing against a Nets team that is it's so unclear what they're going to do with their rotations. But I think the tank is really the point for the Nets. They were a team, since they were top 10 in defense for about a 12 to 15. It was actually like a 15 game stretch. Since that time, they've now lost, what is this, 7 in a row in the since basically the middle of January at this point. And it's like there are not too many blowouts in there other than that Knicks game that was just brutal. Obviously, we don't need them to blow out, but the key here is that they played only 2 games at home in that time frame that I'm talking about. They are just atrocious on the road. So you just sort of got opposing figures coming in where Keyonte George is healthy. We talked about him the other day and how important he is to the Jazz offense, which is obviously 10 points better. Not obviously, I'll tell you again, 10 points better at home than it is on the road. And I think that's just really what this comes down to. Jazz at home. Nets, I'm not even sure if they're going to play their starters full because they've shown on back-to-backs. They're like, nah, let's just play a lot more Day'Ron Sharpe and Tyrese Martin than we do any of our starters.
Not only a back-to-back, it's an elevation back-to-back. Mm-hmm. Denver and Utah, right? I'm trying to find the numbers there. I don't know if anybody split that out, but I'm guessing teams do not do well when they play in these 2 cities back-to-back, especially if they're not trying to win, like you said. And yeah, we don't know who they might sit, which could definitely help Keyonte George go off as he comes off a little bit of rest. And we know Markkanen's going to be out. He did struggle the last couple with Mark out, but over in 4 of the previous 5 against this number, and did score 29 with 10 dimes on 35 usage when Markkanen was active against the Nets in December, the Nets are really good limiting point guards, or they have been over the course of the entire season. But they, as you pointed out, because they're good at trying to limit the pick and roll man from scoring, they do give up a ton of dimes. That's why I think you can roll these in together. But I mean, Keyonte has gone up against some really good defenses and still dropped a bunch of points. Like if you'll recall last week, him just dropping floaters over Rudy Gobert, him scoring over Wembanyama, like just like the toughest interior defenses out there. And he's able to hit these step backs and floaters. He's just in his bag right now. And the Nets, if they don't play a Claxton or a Clowney, or even if they do, like I'm not that worried about it. His last 7 without Markkanen, he's still averaging 31.6. So he has definitely been consistently over this number. And like you mentioned, the Nets, they've lost 7 straight. They have the worst 3-point D in the NBA. They're allowing the 6th most assists, 5th most points, and a healthy 28 points per game to point guards in that span. So not anymore are they elite limiting that position.
Yeah, it's all just different now. This is sort of the tank season is on for a lot of these teams that are just like, and stop. And that seems to be what we're doing. Keontae's got the green light. I do think he's sort of established himself as a part of the future of this team, which I think will probably have Markkanen on it too. But we'll wait till next season for the Jazz to start trying fully. But for this season, we still, like I said, got the Pellies trying. We've got Zion out there, and he's got plenty to play for as well. But I just like the matchup here. This was 21.5. If you could still get that, absolutely love 21.5, but 22.5. For anything better than like -120, I'd still feel good about. This is about a 20, I have like a 24.5 point projection for him. Just that's not even really including the matchup, which is just awesome. It's really a bit more about the points per minute. And now that you get him going to the rim, and you're talking about a team that's been bottom 10 for Memphis. We talked about this earlier, bottom 10 rebounding as well for Memphis. Like there's gonna be offensive chances, and Zion's been putting up a ton of rebound chances in the last 3. I don't like betting on Zion rebounds and assists. I've tried it over the last 2 or 3 years, and I'm like, this should work, and it just doesn't work with consistency. The only thing that works with consistency is when you find a spot for Zion that he's going at the rim against a team that can't protect it, then you go for it. So tough game against the Thunder there. They still played pretty well, just didn't make that many shots, still getting to the line. When he scored 24 against Memphis the other day, it was like a week ago now, he got to the line 11 times, shot a pretty poor percentage overall in that game. I think he'll be able to pick it back up, and 24 to 26 is a nice points projection for him.
Yeah, I mean, it's the battle of the worst rebounding power forwards in the league, in Jaren Jackson and Zion. And Memphis should be able to protect the rim with Triple J down there. But, I mean, he gets caught in a blender so often because of how bad the rest of their defense is, that it makes sense that Zion be able to catch it on the move and attack whatever matchup. Yeah, not scared of Jock Landale there if Triple J is at a position. But on the other side of this matchup, Cedric Coward to hit 2 threes. Seems like a good bet. I mean, I think you could take any of his props here in terms of like 12.5 points if you get a good number. He's gone over. I mean, he's hit 2 threes in 8 of his last 9 without John Moran. Don't want to bury the lead here. When John Moran is out, the ball has a little more life, moves around. Cam Spencer experience, like I said, is definitely, he's not looking to shoot first. He's looking to get that thing moving. And said he's averaged 15, 6, and 3 in just 26 minutes per game in those 9 games. He's hitting 2.3 threes at 47%. He's up to 2.8 threes in the last 5 without Morant, including hitting 3 of 7 against NOLA last time out. NOLA is in their last 7 allowing the 4th most corner threes, which, he's going to get the corner and the wing threes off these other guys creating. They're also allowing the most open threes, 4 to 6 foot range, 17 a game of those, and the 5th most wide open threes with nobody even in the picture. Coward, yeah, he came in the league here as a reliable 3-and-D guy. He's been that. Memphis is starting to ramp up his minutes, as we see with some of these younger guys, and you can trust that he's going like 27, 30 minutes at the minimum. And I just trust him to knock down these shots with Cam Spencer orchestrating things offensively.
Yeah, it makes sense to me entirely for Cedric Coward in this game, with the matchup especially, and then just the usage that should continue to increase for him. But talking about usage, close out with our guy Dillon. I mean, I haven't bet him in a minute, but when we got him under like 22, 23 points, and we've got Devin Booker out, I don't really care about the Cavs defense. I suppose it's a little bit better with Darius Garland not out there, but it's also not good with Evan Mobley not out there. So I would say that's a bigger impact on this thing. If Evan Mobley was out there and he was just like, you know what, I'm going to take Dillon Brooks because there's no Devin Booker and there's no, Jared Allen has Mark Williams. There's nobody else that's like big and like Royce O'Neal's the power forward and he's a spot up shooter, right? So it would make sense that Evan Mobley would be on Dillon Brooks. He's not going to be out there. So I suppose Jalen Tyson, if they continue to give him the minutes he deserves, then he'll be out there for that for that job. I don't care though, because Dillon Brooks here, when he's played without Devin Booker, is averaging 21.5 shots per game. So that's all I need to know is like he's shooting the amount of times that I have his prop at. That's wonderful. If he shoots 40%, if he shoots 38% from the field, that's really all I need at this point. Cav's been really bad against the spot up as well, and I do like guys like Grayson Allen and Gillespie, but also Grayson. Like I think both of them will have the ball in their hands enough that they will find him on some spot up stuff. And then Brooks is going to Brooks. Like he's just got that green light. It's such a perfect situation in Phoenix for him where it's just like, do what you want on offense, man, because your defense is just everything to this franchise now. So green light away, and I'll just take the volume for him against the Cavs.
I remember when he was talking this mess to LeBron and saying how he pokes bears and everybody was like, oh, have fun playing in China next year. Dillon Brooks is like, well, now he's on par with Kawhi Leonard as the best isolation scorer in the NBA. So do with that what you will. Freezing cold takes from back in the day. Yeah, this guy can play, and he's got tons of volume. Like I said, I was thinking about fading him in some of the tougher matchups recently without Booker, but then I looked at the shot log and I'm like, oh my God, you cannot trust him to go under if he's going to shoot the ball 20 to 25 times.
Yep, absolutely. All within the realm of possibility. So for Dillon Brooks, we're going to get the points tonight. And that is all the time we have for you guys in this one. Definitely make sure you are subscribed to that channel. We'll be back here with some NFL stuff. We're going to have some early Super Bowl stuff. And then next week, we'll be back with some more direct picks, I imagine, as well. So until we see you next, happy betting.